Welcome to Easy Note ID with Gabriel Music Notation. I'm your host, William Tapley, the inventor of Gabriel Music Notation. One of the greatest advantages my Gabriel Notation system has over conventional music notation is that it features Easy ID, that is, Easy Note Identification. You only need 2 of the 4 Gabriel staff lines to identify any and all notes. By contrast, with standard notation, you must show all 5 staff lines, plus a clef sign and either a key signature or an accidental sign in order to correctly identify a note. Also, with standard notation, each of the 88 keyboard keys registers at a different location on the staff. Whereas with Gabriel notation, there are only 12 note and staff conjunctions. And those 12 conjunctions repeat throughout all clefs and all 88 keys of a keyboard. And since the bass and treble clefs, as well as all other clefs, are analogous, Gabriel notation is much easier to learn. Instead of 15 different scales, you need to memorize only one 12-tone chromatic scale and one universal clef to read at least 99% of all the music that has ever been written. Silly mantras, like every good boy does fine, and all cows eat grass, and you know what I'm talking about, should be discarded on the ash heap of musical history. So now let's look at the 2 staff lines related to each of Gabriel's 12 unique note and staff conjunctions in their ascending order. The first location we look at is, logically enough, for the first letter in the alphabet, the note A, which is 1, a white oval-shaped note head tangent to the bottom of the upper line of the 2 staff lines, which are closer together. Thus we find that all 5 characteristics necessary to define the note A are contained in just 2 staff lines. When Gabriel notation becomes widely accepted, which it will, this basic information will undoubtedly be part of the first lessons that future music students, especially keyboard students, must learn. Moving up the scale, also figure 2, we come to the next note, A sharp, which is a black, angular-shaped note head intersected at 1/3 from its top by the upper of the 2 staff lines, which are closer together. In this case, only 4 characteristics define A sharp. Notice the contrast between the white oval-shaped note head for A and the black angular-shaped note head for A sharp. This is the same kind of contrast you see on a keyboard. My Gabriel notation system works like a keyboard by identifying notes in 4 different ways: color, size, shape, and position. Next comes the note B, figure 3, which is the white oval note head intersected by 2/3 from its top by the lower of the 2 staff lines, which are further apart. The note B can also be expressed in an alternate way, like any of the notes which similarly are tangent to or intersect a staff line. B is the white oval note head intersected at 1/3 from its bottom by the upper of the 2 staff lines, which are closer together. And we will discover that 8 of the 12 notes in the Gabriel chromatic scale interface with both the wide and narrow subdivisions of the staff, while 4 notes of the Gabriel scale that freely float, with 3 notes floating in the wide subdivision and 1 note floating in the narrow subdivision. Next, we find that the 4th note associated with this first line we've been looking at is C, also figure 3, which is the white oval note head tangent to the top edge of the lower of the two staff lines, which are further apart. Next, moving on to the space between the two staff lines, which are further apart, figure 4, we find C sharp, which is the black angular note head located 1/3 note head above the lower of the two staff lines, which are further apart. Next, we find middle D, also figure 4, which is the white oval note head centered between the two staff lines, which are further apart. I predict that this note, middle D, will take the place of middle C in the future lexicon of music. It is located not only at the center of Gabriel notation, but also at the center of a keyboard. The adjective middle fits middle D much better than the middle C that we've all been taught. Above middle D, we find D sharp, the black angular note head, which is 1/3 note head below the upper of the two staff lines, which are further apart. Above that note, we find E, also figure 5, the white note head tangent to the bottom of the upper of the two staff lines, which are further apart. Next comes F, figure 6, which is the white oval note head intersected at 1/3 from its top by the upper of the two staff lines, which are further apart. Following F, we find F sharp, also figure 6, the black angular note head, which is intersected at 1/3 from its bottom by the lower of the two staff lines, which are closer together. Then comes the note G, figure 7, which is the white oval note which lies tangent to the top of the lower of the two staff lines, which are closer together. And finally, we see G sharp, also figure 7, the black angular note head centered between the two staff lines, which are closer together. Notice, with Gabriel notation, both black and white keys are treated equally, and all have unique staff locations. After learning the 12 chromatic note and staff conjunctions, a student can read any and all Western music. To achieve the same goal with standard notation, a student must spend many years learning 15 different scales, memorizing non-repeating clefs, plus recognizing numerous roadblocks, which we call accidentals. Now, if you would like more information, I have compiled 4 books. All keys are easy. Easiest way to read music. Easy keyboard for beginners. And my book of Christmas carols. And you can order these under the Gabriel Music Books order form located at the top left of my 3rdeaglebooks.com website, or for more information, search under the musical tab on my 3rd Eagle Books website. You may also write to me at Post Office Box 291, Osage, Iowa 50461, and I hope to see all of you again on my next Gabriel Music Notation video.